Why?
I don't believe in shooting your shot as a woman. I'm very sorry. It's worked for a number of women, which I think is beautiful. And I'm for it. I personally
feel like
I can't see myself shooting my shot. For me, your singleness, I think, is so important. I realize that when I'm single, I'm less distracted.
And
I'm not saying that...
I get you.
I just haven't reached a point in my life where companionship, I can balance my career and companionship. I swore to never speak about this, and this is the last time I speak about this. And Fifi, I'm even sharing it because it's hilarious. The last attempted relationship I got into, it was attempted because it was like 26 days, I think. He was disgusted at the fact that I got him at 3. I'm like, but I was playing at 1 a.m.
Welcome to another episode of Bedtime, the podcast. It's about to be lit because I have one of my favorite girls I'm in bed with, Fifla. And tonight, we are exploring all things dating apps, tech and love, and the pain that happens when you try to find love online.
It's a lot. I have a lot to share about that.
So which ones are you on?
Tinder, Bumble. There's one called Raya. Right? But you have to subscribe to it. And you have to get approval on it. No one can just join. So, the entertainment industry, right?
Oh,
so if you have a friend in the entertainment industry who's on it already, they have to approve you. But it's like 300 rand a month. It's not worth it, guys. Also, there's like a few black people or people of color.
Simone Biles, when the husband, I think that's the one.
Yes,
You're
yes.
right.
So now it's taking long to roll out in South Africa, but I didn't really like that experience.
Because you don't want to date in the industry.
No.
Why? But what
Askisi, have you seen what we deal with in the... No. It couldn't be me, personally. No, I need myself like a rich... Can I? I can't swear.
Go.
I need myself a rich nigga.
But how about but
like, you know, when I get into my 40s, like, and I'm ready to really, like, you know, have a solid plan for my kids and stuff and settle down, then I want my white billionaire man to find me. Right now, I'm still having fun.
I love it. That's the thing about dating, right? Yes. But one by nobody serious, I find. Because dating, you are finding out. So why 20 serious? What do you want? 10 years, whatever. Why can't we have a meal? And then I suss you out.
Exactly.
Like, you know, not overtly, like you interview. But I'm not 10 questions, good dating.
No, you know what it is? I think people have been hurt so much. So you always have to, it's like a security check. It's like you have to vet from the jump because like you can really fall for someone. And then after the second date or third date, like they just show you another side and you're like, I'm so knee deep in my feels already. Like now I can't get out. And you're like, but this guy is just showing all the red flags. You know what I mean? So you gotta know from the jump. I mean, I don't get it either. I'm like you as well. I don't see the need for like a million questions at the beginning. But a lot of people have been burnt. Quite a bit.
And wait till this burning, we must talk about it because in a trauma I once saw a TikTok and then the gent was just like showing like his meds for depression, whatever. He was like, I gotcha because of a relationship. And lots of people want to be in love, but he was just like, no, love. It was just toxic. And I guess, I mean, I don't know if they met through an app or whatever, but we want something and then we participate in Raisinya. Why? Why do you think we do that?
I don't even know. I think, people have a lot of unresolved issues themselves, right? And they hide it, right? Because they only show you the surface or they want to show you what they want to show you. And then the moment you get deep and you guys like uncover everything, you unpack, and you're like, shucks, this person's actually gone through a lot. And some people don't know how to deal with their traumas, don't know how to actually ask for help or seek help. And then you become like the main punching bag, which is so crazy. Not physical-ish, guys. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, like, but you should take my stuff.
Yeah, like everyone just like offloads onto you. And it's like, okay, you come with a lot. Yeah. Baggage is what they call it. Erica Badu spoke about it. She said, stop being a bag lady because you got your bag.
Exactly. One of my favorite songs. Yo! You know, when especially that part when she goes, one day
all them bags go get in your way.
God, I feel like I'm speaking for all the 80s here when I say it does happen.
Yeah.
And I think Dabaya Uba self-aware as well. I feel like we are doing well. Obviously, we have to thank the TikToks of this world for normalizing speaking about emotions. Because obviously, a lot of us are in those homes where we are schooling, so what are you? And when you show up like that, go relationship, you are on the back foot. Because sometimes some people have worked on themselves, or their family structure was just better. They know how to love easier. They know how to offer the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And then when they ask you about things that you clamped up.
Yeah.
How vulnerable does one get go to dating app? I mean, it's been a while since I've been on one, but do you still talk about deep things or the talking stage? I know talking stages. But like, do you tell them or you wait until you meet them?
I think dating apps are similar to social media apps. So your social media networks, like your Instagram, your Twitters. Like I said, people choose to show you a certain part of their life, right? So that you have a specific perception about how they're living. Dating apps, I think, are the same. So when you're chatting to someone on a dating app, and this is a personal experience, like you're chatting to them and they trying to paint this perfect picture. So it's already removed that authenticity or that space to actually be vulnerable with one another. There's no, there's no real connection.
And laughy because, because I swear.
Are we jumping straight to the catfish matter? Are we there yet?
Because half
not dudes out here putting Michael B. Jordan on their profile. I'm like, that's definitely not true. You actually might scam me or you might try to kill me.
Eish.
And we be seeing a lot of that.
When we are women also.
Exactly.
Yeah, in this area code, well, yes.
I hate catfishes. I'm sorry. PSA, I hate catfish.
So how do you get out of that situation? So,
you know what you must do? I always feel like there should always be like a safe distance, right? So if you guys meet at a restaurant, like stand right by the security guard, hide right behind the security guard and be like, what color shirt are you wearing? You know what I mean? Like stand next to somebody, like be in a crowded space. Just make sure that there's people around because like we don't want a trafficking situation because that's really the reality that we are faced with, we can't ignore that. But it's like, but I mean, if he's not what you think he was supposed to look like, or if he's not who he was meant to look like, run away. I'm going home.
Yeah. I remember back in, I think it was
I'd do that.
Early 2000, I had this phone, I won't say the brand, but Nena Libatina fake call. And that's how I would get out of it, to say, yo, my mom just called me now. She needs me to come now, whatever. But there was also a thing where you could go with your girlfriend, right? But they were not always available.
Yeah.
And I think this dating thing was also fast-paced.
Yeah.
You can't wait for your friend to be on that schedule.
True.
But the reality is, being on a dating app is one more way you can meet your maker. You can unalive.
Yeah.
Because but playing on there.
Exactly.
So if I know about hiding the security guard things, but that's not always possible. Practically, I know meeting a public space, but maybe one more feel and they're really warm. And then or isolated them too.
I think the beautiful thing about technology is we have apps like Namola. We have Find My iPhone. WhatsApp, we can send location for up to 8 hours,
Namola, we are here looking for a brand as
exactly,
well.
Exactly, Namola. Hope you guys are watching. So there's apps and specific functions and features on our phones that allow us to share our location with our loved ones, I always believe that's so important. And it's so crazy that it's become more prevalent in our friendship groups, and then within our families. Like, yo, guys, whenever you get somewhere, please send me your location. Like my friend, a close friend of mine, she checks our Find My iPhone every 2 days. But then sometimes she's spicy about it. She's like, I want to see whose house you were at last night. Whose house were you sleeping at? Because she called me the other day. She's like, what are you taking, Alex? I said, no, man. I'm driving past. I'm going to Swaziland on Friday. So when I was going to Bushfire. And she was like, why are you in Alex? And I was like, dude, I was just driving past Alex. Like, relax. Like, whew, okay. But it's like she checks out Find My iPhone, guys.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm so happy for for technology.
Yeah, I think I'm also happy for the friendship group accountability because she's not saying she's a friend only when you need help.
Yes.
She's just saying she's checking. And the technology, because I guess at the heart of our conversation is love and tech. So there's now, Silicon Valley is seeing what okay, but to everybody the app. Do you sometimes feel like all those things are too much and you wish you could just meet Abuti bakery fela ne? Or like a croissant, I've got the cream, and then next thing.
All the time. I'm actually not a huge fan of dating apps. So I have them for fun. Okay, I have dating apps for the wrong reason, and please don't judge me, guys. But some people you'll find it's hilarious. Like, it's just like, for me, it's a comedic experience. It's
because why would this so? Why unwala so?
Okay. Because it's like, you actually realize that like so many characters exist out there. So that's what I use it for, honestly. Just to have fun. Yeah. And my friends and I have this stupid game where we grab each other's phones and then we just keep swiping until, someone chases you and grabs their phone back. And then now you're getting all these random texts and you see how creepy people are and you're just like... So it's a fun experience for us in that regard, but we don't take it seriously. I used to take dating apps seriously. But we'll get into that story later.
Mara, I must tell you, girlies, we always do that.
Yeah.
A few years back, I used to run COVID actually. This dating platform called Strike. So people were meeting anonymously online. You just have your video on, but you don't have your name. Nobody knows but you are there. So you could get somebody from Zambia or somebody from whatever. But as long as Lime cheats, I get then we'll be fine. But the biggest thing we used to pick up at these the meetups is that the gentleman, bare minimum in terms of preparation. Wife beater. Dating that time. So those are some of the things we used to experience. Like, who you gonna meet? The girlies. They're online. Mara weave late. Lipstick. Online. And then Mukai was like, you know what?
So even the background, you wouldn't consider the background.
Like, do you understand? Do you understand? And that's what we're trying to say, right? We're not saying maybe like 5 stars, whatever, but care about how things look, because that means we're intuitive. You're gonna want to put your best foot forward.
Yes.
But the fact that Totoro match because you're a guy, fella. That's all you're bringing is the fact that you're a man.
But men really don't put in effort when it comes to these dates. I think I don't know where it started, but there's like a weird... The intention of dating apps has shifted, is what I've picked up. So for women, the intention is still the same, trying to meet, the love of my life. And I have a whole theory about all of it, is women are now more empowered, right? So it's much more harder to meet men traditionally.
Of course.
Because it's like, I'm always working. I'm always with the girls, but also it's like I'm really looking for a specific archetype or a specific type of person, right? And technology, like I said, enables that access or makes that access easier. And then for men, it's like I'm just trying to bust a nut.
True.
So the intentions have completely changed. Men don't court anymore. It's the truth.
They want to get to the point fast.
I say what I say, but like men don't court anymore. The art of courting is gone. It's lost. Sorry, I think I'm about to go on. Because
I find that you're not the first person to, be in bed with me and say that. But I must really say, because that's what people are saying a lot, to say people want to get to the point quicker. I don't know if it's because maybe they heard no work in the beginning, or people have just been burnt. Even men. We can't take away the fact that Rona, actually, Twinski host their conference here. Can we talk about our toxicity in private as ladies? Because wow. Flames. I have to be honest about that one. And then they're like, why must I take out, whatever. 5 levels in. Only for her to tell me, let's just be friends. So you almost want to, am I going to hit or not? And then we'll get to the relationship things depending on how that goes. And not worry, I'm saying it's right, but I sort of understand it. Because again, we've placed so much emphasis on sex, or no, he's using me for sex. No, it's another part of dating, of exploration. Because maybe it's been 6 months since you've been in a relationship, but you're going to tell me the next time you're going to get kinky is with somebody, or yes, I'm your boyfriend. things don't always happen that way. Let's just be frank.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I guess in my thing, I'm saying that, yes, they don't quote anymore, but there is now another underhanded problem. Hore, lerona, we do contribute to the problem of them not wanting. Because sometimes you're like, no, I'm not into you like that. I just thought we were going to do our thing.
Yeah.
And that's fine, right?
Yes.
I'm low-key thinking, you know who I'm thinking of as I'm saying? Ruth Wako, the Ultimatum. Because she was like, you know what? I'm here for an experience. And agency's mine, whether I'm going to have sex or not. And that girl owned it. And do you know how much respect I've got for that? Yeah. Because we sort of give the men power. She's like, we use stuff for sex. No, OC, no, look,
yeah.
You understand?
I get you.
And online, as well as offline, the responsibility is both ours.
Yeah.
We need to be quoted 100%, yes, because traditionally, it's good to be chaste, man. I don't want to lie.
It is.
It's so nice to be wooed and the warmth of it.
Yeah.
But now we find ourselves here.
Yeah.
Got this, I've got this. Why can't I make the first move? Why?
I don't believe in shooting your shot as a woman. I'm very sorry. It's worked for a number of women, which I think is beautiful. And I'm for it. I personally
feel like
I can't see myself shooting my shot. I think there's a weird, especially with like this generation of men.
Yeah.
Like there's a weird sense of, I'm trying to find the right words, but it's like the moment you shoot your shot, it's like you become a walkover. Or it's like
you came to me.
You seem desperate because it's like, oh, you came to me, and it's like, you know,
I didn't even have you on my radar.
You see, you even said it. I didn't even have you on my radar, and it's like, how the hell did you not have me?
You like all of this? Oh, not on your radar. You know, it's just a thing to cut you to size because
but I'd never shoot my shot. I'm saying this.
You'd never.
For everybody to know.
Show me how matla. Show me how matla.
I won't lie. There's a guy I was looking at over the weekend at Bush. I almost said, rubs hands like Birdman. But I was like, nah.
Did you have a beard?
Not even.
I don't. Okay.
Not even.
Because the beard brothers these days are low key.
And guess what? He's in the industry. How crazy!
Like, did you go on Raya and like quickly search?
No, he's not. He's definitely not on Raya.
But we
follow each other on Instagram.
Oh.
I might just say, hey,
and
leave it there. Then he must do the rest of the work.
Nah.
Yeah. That is still considered online dating.
That is. You just gently slid it in there. Because Hakari, who's this? Then you're like, oh, I think you mistake. Because he knows who you are. If he follows you, he knows who you are. If you know you've got an
no, he knows me.
I got a clips.
No.
Next.
I'm intrigued. I'll tell you, we'll offline it.
I'm intrigued because you wouldn't shoot your shot, man.
We'll offline it. I'll tell you.
No.
Who knows? Maybe the next 6 months I might do, you know.
Engagement.
Get it. Headlines.
No, I want it for you.
I'm kidding.
I want that for you. You know, earlier you were like talking about and you're doing amazing work. For now, the respect I have is of us keeping or raising the bar.
Yeah.
You can't say I'm gonna be a DJ, I'm gonna be a what, I'm gonna be, and then about a 5 out of 10. Please. Stop. What are you doing? Only because of our story and the women that came before us. So if we are like knock it out of the park, right? So that we're inspired. And when I look at your work, those are the vibes that I get. That's why I'm like, I wonder, Kimang hey, because you almost need a half feature more. Because it can't just be a nobody.
No.
You know, because for me, it talks to where you've placed yourself. And you've set the standard.
And the same standard that you apply to your work, I believe you need to apply to dating.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Because it's like, you know what jobs you don't want to take. You know what jobs are not suited for you. You know, you're able to say, listen, thank you so much for the offer, but I'm going to have to gladly decline this, you know? And we need to treat relationships the same way.
Yes.
I think my career helped me or helped program me in that way. Where I was like, if you're not matching up to what I have to offer and what I have, then I don't think a conversation can be had. Yeah. And I need a lot more women to, you know, to think like that, to just shift their mindset to that level because it's really not worth it.
Yeah, because I experienced some of us we on that thing yauri, at least get a motho. But that person is not a quality motho. As a quality motho, and look na how say yo? As a motho, how does there are those people who value being in a relationship so much that they're willing to accept maybe to lower the standard. Yeah. And one part of me gets it because when you've been alone for a long time, purely because of other factors, it's got nothing to do with you, but you end up internalize it. You're like, something must be wrong with me. So the first person, you're like, and then you work extra hard. You see the thing of walk over.
You overcompensate.
You understand because of the gap. And I wish we glorified singleness as well, because being on a dating app means I'm a choice. Doesn't mean I have to be here.
Exactly.
It's also I'm maybe sussing out what's available. Exactly. You know what I mean? So when you think about that and getting to a point where one day, like, what would you define to him what intimacy means to you? Because hey, it means different things to different people. I'll tell you that later after you answer me.
So intimacy for me is not even sexual, guys. By the way, it's far from it being sexual. For me, it's, are we comfortable in each other's silence? And when we're laughing, because I love laughing. Apparently, it's a trauma response. But I've always been a clown.
I know.
I'm always laughing. I laugh daily, yes. Like, I can't stop laughing.
Overanalyzing what we're going through.
Apparently, it's a trauma response. I said, not everything is a trauma response, guys. But anyway, when we laughing, like, do we get each other's humor? You know? Do we make each other laugh? That's intimacy for me. Like, having a moment where we can share content with each other. And it's like, that's intimacy for me. What else? Putting each other on things that we like with it. You know, movies, sneakers, songs, food, experiences. Also, new experiences. I always love new experiences with my partners. I think that for me is so intimate, and it actually helps me understand you more. You know, it's just something about experiences, like taking me to a market that I've never known of for the first time.
The novelty of doing things together for the first time. Nothing beats that.
Let's go do some tufting, because I've never done a tufting workshop before. Like, things like that. That's intimacy for me. And then obviously the sexual stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, still falls under intimacy, but that's like later. It's like,
but it's the oil for the difficult parts. Because when you have that in the bag, which is all the stuff you've done, how shall I like matata or an awkward issue? It sort of cushions, I have something good going with this person.
Yes.
So matata or le tatanyana le, perhaps it's worth going through.
Yeah.
You see, so a lot of us, outside of the bedroom, maybe, or our little cocoon, maybe we don't have much in common.
Yes.
Because we haven't taken the time to explore uratang mutwak. And that doesn't sustain a relationship. We've been together for 10 years. Mara, go 10 years in EU. Is it, are we counting it in? Experience, 10 years. How much do you guys know each other in that 10 years? Yeah. And how much of it has been put on? Because we are in that era. Yeah. I want to, obviously, body BBL, body Ing, they're contributing. Yeah. And the depth, I guess, for me, why I wanted to talk about these conversations a lot is because they talk to wellness.
Yeah.
How sharp?
Yeah.
Ushapu likamhar. Ushapu down there. Ushapu connecting.
Yes.
And being well, I think, is a status symbol.
Yeah.
Like, take away everything. Maracularly healthy.
Yes.
I mean, and that depends on me. It's something I own.
True.
And then harbangata rabatla mutur atlor fulfill atlor I want to pay, I want couple goals, I want whatever. Marawli wani, I wish people shone a light on how singleness in a juice, man. Because you can explore by yourself.
Exactly.
Earlier I was speaking to a different guest about spending time naked alone. Things like that. Why for what? And how are you going to get the message across of things you like? Because you need the intimacy with yourself, don't you?
You do. You need to understand yourself first before you can actually open yourself up to experiencing someone else, whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional. I always believe that it's about experiencing yourself first. It's very important. So I agree on that point. And about wellness and about singleness. The single one, for me, your singleness, I think, is so important. I realize that when I'm single, I'm less distracted.
Born.
And I'm not saying that...
I get you.
I just haven't reached a point in my life where companionship... I can balance my career and companionship.
Born.
I've always found myself in a place where I've had to choose
either or,
which is very difficult, you know, and I've been given an ultimatum, like, is it your career or is it as building?
No,
and
guys.
I'm like, ahola.
That's the first flag to say you gotta balance.
And that's a red flag as well. Someone making you choose, right? But I'm also like, for me, my career has seen me through so many difficult moments, and people don't know the journey I've traveled to get to where I'm at. They don't know the hardships, the fights, the daily fights, you know, the daily struggles of just making everything work and investing in this brand and investing in this vision, in this passion. And I'm like, I can't sacrifice all those years of building for something that I don't even know will last or not. And I'm like, even my career is also, I don't know if it'll last or not. Like, we don't have any overview on what our lives look like or what our circumstances look like, right? So it's very difficult to make someone choose between love and your career. Like, my career is my love. And I always say my career is actually pretty much my first love. And having to compete with that is just like, I don't know. It makes companionship very difficult for me.
I feel that deeply because I'm also someone who struggled finding my place in the world for so long. I mean, I would get jobs and I would get good jobs and I would get promoted because I was just very diligent and dedicated, right?
Yeah.
But I felt so lost. And I was something like, they looked at me like, oh, you've got your life together. But I knew I belonged somewhere. I just didn't know where that place was.
Yeah.
And fast forward to now where, okay, I found a sweet spot. And I guess this is maybe in another way to highlight being supported and being enabled and being hoisted by a partner. Because I'm one of those people, no 2 days look the same for me, schedule-wise or what I want, you know? So maybe now I want to be a podcaster, but maybe that's not going to last. Maybe all I want to do is 4 or 5 episodes. Now, I don't need a partner who's going to say, when you start things, you don't finish them. Or, hey, when I I need somebody who's going to say, okay, what's next? Take us on the joyride. Yeah. Because that is what you want.
Exactly.
And there's no way I can be your partner and for you if I don't want what you want.
And if you can't support...
Exactly.
If they can't support
and
you.
I really do astronomical things. Allow me the space because you know I'm yours.
Exactly.
It's work.
So on that, sorry, and maybe I'm deviating because there was a topic I saw on, I don't know if it was TikTok or Twitter, where some women said men are low-key in competition with women. Right? So sometimes your partner is actually jealous of your accomplishments and like men don't want to realize that. And it could also be vice versa. Let me not, I've been bashing men the whole time. So sorry. Let me make this fair.
Because we love you guys.
Let me make this, let me make it fair. But there's always, in a lot of romantic relationships, there's that competition where you feel threatened when your partner achieves more than you do. You know, it's like, how do you also deal with that? And I've faced that before. And it's scary. It's a scary space to be in because now you're dimming your light. You're downplaying your achievements. You're scared of being out there too much because it's a potential, like, fight. Or that's where, like, the root of certain fights, it starts there because it's like, now you think I'm better than you, but it's like, but how can't we empower? Why can't we just empower each other? How can't we just celebrate each other? I think that's another problem I have with companionship.
That's why balancing, you find singlehood a place where you are able to be focused because of that.
Yeah. One of the reasons
and
is that.
I get that so much because I feel like had I had enough role models, but like your Bonangs, I mean, shout out to you, Queen, but lots of self-made, successful, single, and at the top. She can keep a man. It's fine.
Yeah.
So there was always this thing like single and successful is taboo.
Yes.
And you didn't have those role models. Now you have to aspire to, I can have ambition mara 20 shrink.
Yeah.
Because there you become something bigger. Like even talking too much or like wanting to be expressed because they're like, no, So the people we want to be in relationships with, they come from those homes.
Yeah.
And opula ngwana, you got some return. No, when I do things differently. If you are doing, they are what they are saying is what their parents. And I'm not here bashing anybody's parents, but they didn't know any better.
They didn't.
I mean, but when you are out there looking for love, things like I heard somebody on another podcast I listened to, Are, if I would do that over again, I want to from a nucleus family, meaning because they feel as though those people are better placed to understand how relationships work and the balance, whatever. And I tend to disagree, right? Because
I was about to say I
point. I can see it because I do feel like part of I can say maybe the little bit of confidence that I have comes from the security of having both parents, being raised by both, right? But looking at it properly, you have circumstances and you become an adult. You can change those circumstances, whatever they are. Whether it's a messy home, whatever. Yes, it informs you. Yes, it affects you. But has over so far away, it's nobody's problem but your own, baby.
Yeah.
Because we are all out here fighting different types of battles. So you can't say I'm traumatized from things like that. I guess you can. I don't want to downplay anybody's trauma. But my big thing is, have you taken the responsibility to put measures in place for a different outcome?
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, people in nuclear families, some of them do have mommy issues. Some of them do have daddy issues. It's not isolated to just a single parent, a person raised in a single parent household.
Yes.
Yes. So all those stereotypes, the perceptions, for me, they don't exist. The person is a person, like you're saying. A human experience is a human experience. You can't isolate it or you can't define it by where a person was raised, how they were raised. It's different. It's always going to be different. That's why I was like, I don't agree with the whole nuclear family.
Yes.
I mean, ideally, it will always be great to raise a family or to raise a child within a nuclear family, but it's not always possible. Circumstances don't always allow.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that certain people or certain individuals raised in a certain family structure deserve love in comparison to the other.
No, it can't. Because how do you ask for... You can't ask for, I want to be raised by a man. No.
You can't.
Those are things you can't measure a person on. And again, it's about self-awareness and recognizing that, yes, my upbringing is not the best, but I've got me. Somewhere in the 20s there. I know it's maybe a play time, but somewhere in your life, the turning point needs to come where you are owning your future.
Yeah.
You can't. We all have past that if we are radibula, but just getting to that point, you're like, fine, that happened to me. And I'm still healing from it.
Exactly.
But guess what? I've got the power to create something beautiful on top of that, or while I'm healing, or all of those things. I feel like a lot of emphasis sometimes gets placed on this is how I grew up.
Yeah.
And we've got power within us. And I guess for me, coming back to our topic is even social media in the relationship. Because yes, maybe we'll say social media, but the problem is actually the phone.
Yeah.
I'm
smiling because
tech in love, right? The tech element of dating now and everything, the talking stages, the ghosting, the Mara, a little more relationshiping, a lot of an entrepreneurship, creative space. So now you are with brother, and then maybe 9 to 5, and how are you able to navigate that?
I'm laughing because I was like, shucks, that's a very hard space to navigate. It's something I've gone through, and it just creates an insecurity which I feel I'm not responsible for. Like, you get into a relationship with a DJ, for example. Also, that's not even the only job I do, right? So I do set boundaries, especially with my 9 to 5. I say after 5, I'm not going to respond. I'm only going to respond the next day, But sometimes DJ queries will come in like, dude, we need you for tomorrow. Like, there's a corporate gig tomorrow, dude. Confirm yes or no. And it's like, what if it's like 50K and I'm free? So I can't respond to that because now
you and me have plans.
In our house, we've set a boundary that I return the phone after 8 p.m. It becomes so tricky, but I think you can manage a situation like that better. I used to, when I was in a relationship and when I used to live with someone, I would not answer calls after 8 or after 10.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, self-inflicted boundary, or were you guys talking about it?
It was at first it was a self-inflicted boundary, and then it did become a discussion. Like, no, I really need this to be strict. The other person expected it to be a really strict boundary, which I completely get. But sometimes it raises eyebrows, and then sometimes your partner feels the need to go through your phone, and then it's like, but dude, like,
and website Arab also website Arab,
and it's like website Arab,
yes,
you know, and. Let me be honest, unfortunately, the industry that we work in, a lot of the people that, you know, book you or whatever are quite flirtatious.
That is a fact.
They're very flirtatious. Yes, you do need to set your boundaries, you know, but it's how it is. And sometimes it raises your partner's eyebrows. Like, why does this person feel so comfortable speaking to you like that? And it's like, look, I'm trying to manage the situation. I'm just trying to get this booking done and out of there. I'm not doing anything with this person. I can like confirm, guarantee it's business, you know? And sometimes it gets so difficult setting those boundaries because it's like, oh yes, feel okay, now I'm going to take that booking away. People are weird like that. I don't know how humans are wired, but there becomes a really, I love that you actually pose that because it's something that I think I'd actually like to hear more women DJs speak about their experience, you know, or queer DJs, femme DJs speak about that experience for them and how it's been. For me, it was quite unpleasant because it's like, yes, I was very strict about it, but it didn't stop the person from actually going further into my phone to check, like, is this really just a professional relationship? Which it was, or which it always is. So the insecurity it breeds is crazy.
But I usually look at the industry as entertainment, ne? Like people have office wives, work babe. That's a real thing because each other and all of those things. That time maybe it's something harmless co-officing, right? But then maybe how texter and say bestie or a wifey or something, and then how abaitola. Do you know that can be the end of something? Because number one, yes, about respecting boundaries, but we are not going to take away the fact that if you spend enough time with people, you sort of like relax, libona.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes they experience you or feeling of you. So it's like no phone mind. Kanti now you've entered your intimate space.
And you're lying on his chest.
Oh, nice to be so and full on video.
No, but that is really. I'm so sorry. That is crossing the line. Why am I FaceTiming my colleagues? Why are we video calling?
Because why are you bobbing your head?
You can wait until tomorrow morning when we get into the office. Also, I really don't like the idea of work bays. And let me be honest, I'm not a fan of that. We can be cool. We can be cordial. We can, you know, be homies in terms of, hey, I saw this on Twitter, I thought you'd like it, in the office. You know, it's just, that's how we are as humans. We gravitate towards each other. But at some point, it needs to stop. Like, I'd be mad if our person had a work bay.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Sorry?
But I can so jwetse, and I guess by nature, the work base, this is better. For me, it's the problem of your space, where you know you've set the boundary, like you are saying, or you're not taking calls after this time. And then maybe they're phoning about a gig or whatever, you know? And then your person looking at it like, okay, but I thought Nalwana is somewhere. And you're like, no, but I have to do this gig, whatever. It's what sustains us or it's work. I feel like also Howley in the industry, if I can call it that, because there are no set working hours, the expectation is for you to, and I wish people understood, those checks are few and far between. Some of the time you'll do 10 gigs, but 3 will be in payment in kind for exposure, 4 will be in exposure, 3 are going to pay. But it doesn't mean any one of them is less important. You do need to get your name out there and all of those things. And it's that kind of space. And it puts pressure on relationships.
Oh, trust me.
It does.
Trust. Can I tell you, there's this, another thing I struggle. It seems like I struggle with companionship, right?
Girl, you're not alone.
It is what it is.
Inside relationships, there is
I'm
struggles.
So cute though. I'm kidding. So another thing I struggle with is the working hours. So a lot of men are like, how is Mahan outside of the house after midnight? Like, it's a conversation. Even with my guy friends, they're like, Fifi, bro, like, if you and I were dating, dog, and you said you got a gig at 2, it's done. It's a wrap. We're done. And I'm like, and I've experienced it as well. I swore to never speak about this, and this is the last time I speak about this. And Fifi, I'm even sharing it because it's hilarious. The last attempted relationship I got into, it was attempted because it was like 26 days, I think. He was disgusted at the fact that I got him at 3. I'm like, but I was playing at 1 a.m.
But 2.
My set ended at 2. I was networking after my set, and I left at 2:30 to get home at 3. And I think 5 hours later, I got a breakup message. I'm just saying, like, those are the things. Like, men do not want women out the house after a specific time. So our industry also, that's where we struggle. It's like, and I think in their heads, they putting themselves in the position, like, if they were in the club, they know that men are out there, like, preying on women.
But
and like, hey, girl, let me buy you a drink. Hey,
because
they know that's how they are, right? And that's how they behave. But it's like, you clearly don't trust me enough. I'm there for work. I'm not there to I'm not there to have a good time. I'm literally there to work.
And it's another thing to also have him here, because
have him where?
More, I get a content or what? No, it's not allowed.
How's that really going to
Skis.
Like, I don't mind my partner coming to gigs with me.
Yeah.
But every single gig, I'm just like,
Yeah.
It's my work.
Yeah.
We need to start treating, especially as DJs and artists, performing artists, and we need to start treating that space as a professional environment. Because what happens is, right? So, for example, when you invite too many people and there's a rider, someone gets too lit, and that can impact your brand negatively because they're like, yo, every time she comes through, she rolls with like a gang of people that just get drunk and break things within the venue. They don't know how to behave.
Guys, don't take that. Those people go 9 to 5.
Exactly, and you don't take those. They don't come to the 9 to 5, right?
No.
So it's like you need to start treating it like that. I'm not saying don't invite your friends. I'm not saying don't invite your partner, but just know that there's a time and place for everything. Limit the amount of people you bring. You know, and just make sure that it's people that you can trust to behave or to help support you within your work environment. Because,
Yeah, you're spitting facts there. I actually never thought about it that way because I've also been like, in my heydays, a waitress.
Yeah.
And it just used to be bad. The one time the lady actually left Bill 7,000 because she was escaping. I feel like she didn't anticipate that her friends would rack up that higher bill.
Exactly.
And I know they help us relax, especially if maybe it's a new place and you want to almost ring fence where you are. Because I love us, but sometimes I really respect your personal space.
Yeah.
Because you feel like it's a liberty told, they owe you a selfie. We'll go into that conversation, I'm sure, sometime. But a big thing about our friends, our partners, all of those things when you are in the industry, quote unquote, is just the boundary and the respect. Also about status, WhatsApp status and sharing people's number without their consent and all of those things, they violate also the friendships because every time, I don't know about you, but Naki would like you and every time, but how I got a close sauce. How I got a close sauce. Get me, yeah.
Even
there is no way.
The trolls on Twitter, I mentioned the specific troll's name on Twitter, he who shall not be mentioned.
Yeah.
I feel like all the intel he has is because of friends.
Exactly.
Do you know, it's so important to really filter that space, and make sure that you're constantly keeping it. And it's hard to say that because you really don't know who to trust.
Hey, and you get burned all the time. It's the closest people, the ones you love.
It's scary. It's a scary time.
Yeah, it is definitely a scary time. And I guess it shouldn't still hold us back from wanting our highest order in terms of us being women, because now I take it personally, the work that was done in 1957 and the march. Because I feel like there was business to be done that day. And then nothing should stop us in that way. And like, make it make sense. You understand? So again, I think more conversations like this need to be had. It's just that, we have run out of that time today. But if I can implore on anybody dating in the industry to say, if something's going to happen, it probably wasn't meant to be, and I don't know if I'm speaking for me because I have 9 to 5s, a couple of 9 to 5s, and I have 1 or 2 entertainment things, but we legit are just working, hey?
Yeah.
We are legit just working. And nahana ule worried, I can't finish this gig too late because my man is.
It's crazy. But also I think the perception that a lot of male DJs got is starting to shift into our space. So now they're like, that's how we also move. Yeah. Which is not the case. I think a person, like you're saying, a person is a person. And I'm at work. Yeah, and I shouldn't be feeling uncomfortable doing what I love. You found me doing what I love. Yeah. I would love to believe that you accepted me as I am and what I do and who I am. Yeah. And the work I do. I don't know why I should shift it all of a sudden. That's how I was living.
You should amplify, not take anything away.
Yeah. In fact, you should be worried about my safety.
Exactly.
These things are crazy.
And exactly. You should have been waiting there outside. You're like, at least they give me to so driver or to get home safe.
I miss that. Being driven to gigs.
Okay. So, yeah. I get it. So out there, people looking. Yes. If you are thinking about even approaching Fifla, you must have your ducks in a row because this girl
don't do it unless you got.
That's your type, girl. I love it.
Now it is.
Yes.
Turning 30 in October.
Oh,
I need to start building my future, securing the bag for my kids and for myself.
October is now.
I'm turning 30.
How do you feel about that?
It's scary. It's very scary. I always laugh because like a lot of my peers that I went to school with or that I worked with are now like 30 and they're already like on 2 kids. They're already like seeing marriage, what's up, engagement, what's up. And I just be coming back from the club, lit as hell. And I'm like, how long is this gonna go on for? Baddies deserve love too.
But now, on that note, I'm going to close it. Thank you so much, Fifla, for honoring me and making the time, girl. Where can people support your work? I mean, we know your socials, but what's coming up in Fifla land?
There's a lot happening. Yeah. And I will be announcing soon. Yeah. A lot of partnerships, a lot of events to look out for, especially for spring, that I will be working on. Yeah. So if you aren't following me yet, I suggest you do so. On the socials, it is @Fif_AAA, baby.
It's the 3 A's.
It's 3 A's. Please don't forget. Please say the 3 A's.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Kola.
Thank you so.
And that's everything we've got for you on Bedtime, the podcast. See you out there. And it feels so